You Are the Mountain. There's a beautiful book. The Mountain is You by Brianna Wiest. We're going to chat a little bit about it today, but it's all about self-sabotage and how to master the self-sabotaging elements you have within you. I hope that this video will inspire you to just get going. Everything, every fear you have in your mind of being judged or shamed, or even the fear within you to make a change. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to make change. To stay in your comfort zone will rob you of joy. You need to make the change. And after reading this book, I think I can help you learn how to do that.
Fellas, we're broken. We need to change. And look, I know change can be scary. Most of the time, change is a good thing. I think that's what it's all about. Embracing change. Being brave. Doing whatever you have to so that everyone in your life can move forward with theirs.
Change isn't easy, but neither is living a life that doesn't fulfill you. Which challenge will you choose?
Change is never easy, but it's important to honor the integrity within yourself, to live a full life, a life without excuses. A life where one day on your deathbed you can lie back and go, yes, I did it. So let's dive into this. So there's the first quote that really stood out to me was this one. Your mountain is the block between you, the life you want to live. Facing it also the only path to your freedom and becoming. I want you to imagine that all your life you've been building a mountain stone by stone. That mountain is your mountain of self-sabotage. It's the thing that's been keeping you back. It's not that beautiful mountain that you'll hike to get to the top to see this beautiful view. It's not that type of mountain. This is a mountain that saps every bit of joy out of your soul. We need to dismantle it, one stone at a time. It's important to remember that a lot of your self-identity is fluid. It changes. And to stay the person you were 20 years ago and still be it now would be an injustice to that innate need to grow and change and become something new. You have free will. You can make decisions to change your life. You need to confront the self-beliefs, the sabotaging beliefs about yourself that is keeping you back from the person you can become, to having everything you want. I'm not talking at all about any tricks, mind games with yourself. This is all about just confronting the bullshit you put in your brain about why you cannot be bigger than you are. Stop staying small. Get onto the A field and play with the big leagues. And it just takes a few steps. But also the difficult confrontation of the excuses you've been making to yourself that have been keeping you small. Let's have a look at some signs of self-sabotage. How do you know that you're self-sabotaging? Well, you will know. You will know. It will be in you already. It's something that you feel innately. Although some of us have lied to ourselves so long that we truly believe that the world is out to get us, and the reason why we are where we are in our lives is purely because life just sucks, and this life put us in this place, even though we don't deserve it. You all know those type of people. Victim mentality, signs of self-sabotage. Always being too busy to really focus on your goals or deciding to achieve them. Perfectionism. I'm not ready yet. I can't be doing that thing. I'm not strong enough. I'm not brave enough yet to do that marathon. I need to lose a few more kilos to be able to attempt that Ironman. I'm not saying you're going to be going for big goals like that, but I'm just giving examples. Another sign of self-sabotage is that you haven't calmed down your inner critic yet. You just let your inner critic run your life. You can't do it. Don't do it. You won't succeed. You self-sabotage by creating unrealistic expectations. Tomorrow, even though I have never run in my life before, I am going to do 10 kilometers. I'm going to run 10 miles tomorrow. Never run before, but I'm going to do it. You'll get through the first mile. You'll get through the first 2 or 3 kilometers, and you'll give up because you set the expectation far too high. How else do you self-sabotage? By judging others harshly. And you self-sabotage in that way because you're never going to get any supporters to help you along in life if you're always criticizing everyone around you. You self-sabotage by endless justifications why you can't do it. Oh, I woke up this morning for that run, but it's raining outside. It's windy. It's cold. The sun hasn't come up yet, and I need to get to work. I'm too tired. I didn't carbo fuel enough last night. Therefore, all of these are excuses. Just get up and do it. Or don't. The next thing that you tend to do is the blame game. Well, my kids were really noisy last night. I didn't get a good night's sleep, so therefore I'm not going running this morning. Well, the mechanic that had my car just got it to me too late, and therefore I can't make the hike. Instead of just making a plan and phoning a friend and saying, hey, my car's still in with the mechanic, I am definitely going to do this hike, so can I catch a lift with you? Blame game. Blaming everybody else. My mother, my father. They gave me abandonment issues, and therefore I can never make a relationship work. The next sign of self-sabotage is having resistance to what you want. So, you know what? I would really like to have that beautiful house on the beach, but do I really want it? I mean, it'd probably mean a lot of rust on my car, a lot of sea and sand. Just that wind. The wind always blows so much on the beach. Do I really want that house? Instead of saying, wow, the view will make it all worthwhile. We use self-sabotage to numb ourselves to what we really want. And we use it to make excuses as to why we can't have what we want. We end up not even trying. And in that way, we are self-defeating. We are already writing the script of our lives. We're writing the end of our book before we've even had a chance to explore different avenues or different adventures or write more chapters. I think the thing to understand is that self-sabotage is not a bad thing. It's in our survival. It's our survival mechanism for self-protection from being judged, from failing, it's a way of keeping us safe, keeping us in our comfort zone. But I guess it keeps us from hurting our own egos. And if you've watched enough of my videos, you will know that the ego self is not the true self. And that's obvious. Anyone would know that. So whenever you see your ego coming up and going, no, I can't do that because I'm going to fail, and then everyone's going to judge me and look at me funny, and I'll be rejected by society. Remember, no, you won't. Your ego might. Your ego might take a blow, but your soul will shine. Here's the next quote. We refuse to consciously meet our innermost needs, often because we do not believe we are capable of handling them. So we are sometimes we think, no, I'm definitely not going to do that. I'm definitely not going to achieve that or become a leader in my community because it's scary and I'm going to end up making a mistake and then making a fool of myself. So I'm just not going to do it. Keep yourself small. Protect your ego. So on this mountain, you have your conscious needs at the top and then unconscious needs, the ones you don't really know about. So your conscious needs would be like, I'd like to have 100,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, or I'd like to go on an adventure through the Grand Canyon in the next 2 years, or I'd like to fit into this pair of jeans, or anything material you can imagine in your life would come onto your conscious needs. I'd like a bigger house. I'd like a faster car. Your unconscious needs are the ones that are hidden to you. but they are more important. So the unconscious needs are your need for belonging, your need for validation, your needs to be seen, your need for safety, and in some ways your need for control so that things can be stable in your life. The next point here says that you need to give up these needs in order to step out of your comfort zone. That's uncomfortable and scary. Your mind will naturally resist wanting to make that change because it's easier just to stay in the comfort zone.
How many of you can't stand your job? Come on. All right, we got some people actually got out of their seat on that one. Okay, let me ask you a question. How silly is it to go to work every day someplace where you hate, doing a job that you hate? You say, well, I got to make a living. Well, I don't disagree with that. But you know what? While you're making a living at the job you hate, how about looking for one that you might actually really like? Let me tell you something. Some of you need some change. You just need some change. Nothing different is going to happen to you if you're not ever willing to do anything different. You're never going to find out if you're right if you're not willing to be wrong.
The fact is you have to make a conscious choice to be uncomfortable, to face your fear, but to do it anyway, until you figure out that the core need behind your self-sabotaging behaviors are the things you really need to focus on. So let's look at what our conscious needs are and then what is actually the core need underneath it. And from this book, it explains that often your conscious need is opposite to your unconscious need. So your core commitments and your core needs. Your core commitments, these are the two needs that you have. Core commitments is what you think you need, and your core needs are what you actually need but aren't allowing yourself to have. So let's have a look at some examples. Your core commitment to yourself is to remain in control, but your core need is to let go, to surrender, and to trust in yourself and others. The next example is your commitment to yourself. You say, oh, I need everyone to like me. But your core needs are being neglected because here you are having to keep yourself small. You are having to abandon yourself. You are having to put everybody else's needs in front of your own. The core need here is the need to feel worthy. You are worthy without other people's permission. You are worthy and amazing and beautiful without everyone insisting you are. You need to learn how to perform without wearing a mask. Get off the stage. Be true to yourself and stop abandoning yourself. The next example of a core commitment that you make to yourself is, I need everything to be perfect. Your core need says, I am acceptable already. I am imperfect and beautiful just as I am. The next commitment need that you've made to yourself is that you need constant validation. You need to be doing things where people around you are saying, yes, correct, keep going. But when you do that, you're giving away your power to those around you. You're giving away how you feel every day to how everyone else is perceiving you. So what is the core need underneath this? Self-acceptance. The only true source of validation that you need is from yourself. So imagine for a second that everything you imagine, everything that you want to do will work out. Everything that you put your mind to will come to fruition and will be a success. Imagine you woke up every day and all the decisions you made, you had that in mind. Whatever I do today, it's all going to work out. It's all going to be fine. The reality is that that's quite possible. It's quite possible that everything will work out fine. But you're never going to know if you don't try. So the question is, what would you do today? What would you do differently if you knew that everything you did, everything you tried, would be a success? The reality is that everything we do in life demands for us to get out of our comfort zone. It's uncomfortable. I'm not saying everything, because we do daily things that are just out of habit and we use it to keep things secure and grounded. But for you to grow in any way, you need to step out the comfort zone and be a bit uncomfortable, feel a bit of stress. You will feel stressed. but stress is a growth factor. So the next lesson in this book is all about your emotions and acknowledging your emotions and accepting your emotions. Stop bearing uncomfortable emotions. You self-sabotage yourself when you won't allow yourself to feel any discomfort. Oh, I'm not going to do that thing because I might fail and then I'll be ridiculed. Or I'm not going to do that thing because I might get hurt. I'm scared. I don't want to do that thing because I'm scared. These are all emotions that you can actually face head on and go, well, why am I feeling these emotions? If you don't process unresolved emotional issues, they're going to end up becoming triggers. And you will end up putting yourself in a little bubble in order to avoid being triggered. Allow your emotions to come through. Listen to your triggers. They're trying to tell you something. So let's look at some of these emotions and what they actually are telling us. So the first emotion is regret. Regret tells us, do it now. You feel regret because you didn't do it in the first place, so do it now. Don't let this slip. Don't let this opportunity slide by. Anger is the next one. Anger is a beautiful, energetic force that is telling us enough. I've had enough. You've crossed my boundary, or I've had enough of being in this particular situation. I'm going to move now. It's a catalyst for change. It's going to make you take action. The next emotion is jealousy. Jealousy tells us that there's something that we want and that we don't have at the moment. Often when we are jealous of someone or of something, it's because we see that thing and we think, oh, I would just love to have that thing. So when you feel jealousy, acknowledge it and then look, what is it that that person has that I want and how can I get that thing? I'm not saying that if you want somebody else's partner, it's for you to go and get that thing. Rather look at what you love about the partnership between those two people or what you love about that particular person and find it in someone else. You don't have to take it from someone to have it. You can just find it elsewhere. There are many people in the world. So just meet more people and find someone like that. Sadness. Sadness tells us what we value, because when you lose something that you value, you mourn it, you grieve it, and that's where your emotion of sadness comes from. So sadness is a beautiful emotion in the way that it acknowledges that we've lost something that we valued. The next emotion is guilt. And guilt tells us that we fell short somewhere. And we can acknowledge that and say, okay, you didn't do so well there, but you can do better next time. Or just watch out for that and don't make that same mistake again. The next emotion is embarrassment. So embarrassment is when you're hiding your true self and there's a misalignment between who you are and who you are trying to portray to the world. Challenge yourself to build your emotional intelligence. And how do you do that? Acknowledge and name your emotions when you feel them. Don't ignore them or push them down. And when you do feel something, don't judge it, don't shame yourself. Just say, oh, okay, I'm feeling sad today. Own that emotion. Perhaps write it down. Ask yourself, how am I feeling? Why am I feeling like that? And you don't necessarily even have to ask why, because analyzing your emotion is also not a good thing. Sometimes it can shut it down. Just feel it. And don't be afraid of the feeling. Whether you feel anger or sadness or grief is a bad feeling, it's an uncomfortable feeling. Still acknowledge and feel it. So when you go into self-sabotage mode, ask yourself, what am I doing right now that is helping to protect myself? Because when you are self-sabotaging, it's a form of protection and survival. So you can say, well, why am I not getting that thing done right now? And the reason could very well be, well, I'm just tired. And that's a valid reason, so go and rest. And then say to yourself, you can rest for an hour, and then after that, you're going to get up and do this thing. You could also just be protecting yourself from failure and from being seen. As a YouTuber, I often have days when I wake up and I'm like, oh, no, not another video. Or I just don't think I want to be seen today. Or what happens if this channel goes really big and all the fears that come with that? People will see me, people will know me. I won't be anonymous anymore. And sometimes I think I made this channel in that way, to be anonymous, well, to share my thoughts and feelings in a place where I can't usually do it in the outside world. So the fear is, oh, one day someone's going to see this and they're going to judge me and they're going to shame me for it. Challenge your emotions, challenge the thoughts, and say, is what I'm feeling right now really true? Why am I afraid of being seen in the world or being seen on my YouTube channel? Will it really be the disaster? What happens if I make a change in a person's life that watches one of my videos? So challenge that self-sabotaging belief and say, just make the video, and if you reach someone, you do, and if you don't, that's also fine. And if there are some negative comments along the way, well, not everyone is going to like what you do. Accept that. Be gentle with yourself about that. The next lesson is, and I found this so interesting, it's probably one of the most beautiful lessons one of the most beautiful aspects of this book is that we as humans love comfort more than we love happiness. And that's a sad fact. But it's certainly something I've grown out of. Somewhere along my life, I learned happiness is more important to me than being comfortable. And I go out and I do what I need to do. Facing the fear, facing the ridicule. I'm here on YouTube. I often have people coming up to me and saying, they don't even say anything, they just shake their heads. What are you doing? Here's the quote. Human beings are guided by comfort. They stay close to what feels familiar and reject what doesn't, even if it's objectively better for them. Let that sink in. The next quote is, self-sabotage is a product of familiarity. Anything that is foreign, even if it's good, will be uncomfortable at first. Any change in your life, be it a person, be it a new job, it will always suck at the beginning.
If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. Change isn't easy, but staying the same will never take you where you want to go.
It's uncomfortable. You have to be vulnerable. You have to make changes. And yet, would you rather be where you were before you got the new job or before you met this person? This is giving you the opportunity to grow and be happy. The comfort zone you were in before that only offered you the daily waking up and going, not this again. Humans love comfort over happiness. Don't be that. We say we want something. We say we want change. But unconsciously, we are scared of what that change will bring. Uncertainty comes with change. And we are naturally in survival mode most of the time, especially in this fast world we're living in now. Everyone is just trying to get by. So to make big changes and to take risks is only for those who are brave and have a vision for what they want in their lives. They're not just going with the river of life. They've chosen to build a boat and navigate it. The next portion of the book talks about comfort being tricky. Comfort will keep you in the job you hate, in toxic relationships, in toxic friendships with people who degrade you or break you down year after year. But for some reason in your brain, it's comfortable. I've known that person all my life. How can I get rid of them? They're an anchor of some sort. Comfort is tricky because we prefer as humans to avoid new experiences.
There's zero fear. You realize that the point of maximum danger is the point of minimum fear.
So let's look back at that mountain again. The longer you indulge in the things that are not right for you, the longer you stay somewhere that is comfortable, the larger your mountain is. And your mountain is your stumbling block. It's that limiting factor that's keeping you small. Discomfort is a gift. If you look at nature, everything is imperfect. imperfect, in flux, changing. If you look at any of the books written about chaos theory, everything is moving and chaotic in some way, although there is an underlying fundamental stability in the system. Change and growth is part of how nature works. We sometimes need to be faced. We need to be faced with no other option but to change. How often have we made changes in our lives because we've just said, enough, I will not stay in this pain anymore? How many people stay in marriages until that very moment where they just snap? I'm out. Not one more day. Discomfort is a signal. It tells you that you need to change, you need to grow, that you're too stagnant. It tells you that you need to start developing yourself and start trying out new things, meeting new friends, trying out new experiences and adventures. I love this quote because it's so true. It says, you can avoid discomfort for life. Life will be easy. But the result is you will be miserable. Rather be comfortable with discomfort, and then you will never have discomfort. It's an interesting thought there. Just accept that things are uncomfortable all the time and see it as a positive thing. How do we move on from this? How can we change in a way that it's not scary for us? And there are a few tips here. Slowly take action, baby steps. Make your comfort zone bigger and bigger. Don't be impulsive and just do something crazy and scare the living hell out of yourself. You need to create some safety nets. Discomfort is often the catalyst that makes you change. Because you're so fed up with the status quo. How often have you got to that moment of snapping? The next lesson is, there's no breakthrough moment coming. You can't wait for the perfect moment. And here's the quote. If you're stuck in life, it's probably because you're waiting for the big bang, the breakthrough moment in which all your fears dissolve and you overcome with clarity. Yes, bing, Big Bang Theory happening right there. The work that needs to happen happens effortlessly. The fact is that moment will never come. You don't have to wait for that moment. Do it now. What are you waiting for?
No reason to be scared. And then in that moment, all of a sudden, where you should be terrified is the most blissful experience of your life. And God placed the best things in life on the other side of fear.
The next lesson is life will force you to change even when you don't want to. What's comfortable now will become less and less comfortable because that's the way life works. If a family of fox stay in the same burrow for their whole life and suddenly from 2, a male and a female, to 20 little foxes, they're going to start getting uncomfortable in that little burrow. They need to find a new one. So it's the same with change. You have to change, you have to grow, and it's a natural force in your life. And if you do not make the change, life will make it for you. You don't want to be in that place. You want to be the captain of your ship. Most people don't take action until they reach breaking point and they reach rock bottom, and that's when it becomes unbearable. That's probably not the right time to make a change. That's when changing becomes the only option, the most uncomfortable option, but the only option. When you finally snap and you say, I never want to feel this way again. I will never be in this place again. How many times have you had that in your life? And I bet you slammed the door and never looked back. So let's look at how can we change? There are 2 ways. We can either get fed up and snap and then change, or we can be compassionate with ourselves and treat ourselves with gentleness we can cheer ourselves on and say, let's try this. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work out. It doesn't matter if we fail or be judged or sabotaged by other people. It doesn't matter. Let's just do it anyway. And celebrate the fact that you were brave enough to do it. Trust your abilities. You will figure it out. Understand that your limiting belief is not the objective truth. The fact that you believe that you are not capable of climbing a certain mountain because you think you're too unfit. Train. Do a little walk every day until you can do Mount Kilimanjaro. Don't limit yourself by thinking, oh, I've got a bad knee. People have done far more. Some people have done the most incredible things, like the Ironman, and they don't even have legs. They use their arms in a wheelchair. You can do anything. You put your mind to.
Just like hiking with friends, life's journey becomes bearable when we have the right people by our side. They are the ones who remind us to keep going when the weight of the climb feels too much to bear. Their encouragement, their strength, their belief in us, they pull us through the darkest moments. And when we finally reach the peak, it's not just our victory, but a shared triumph.
King of the mountains, lovely bottom there I have. Beautiful. This is lovely. Yes, give it to us. Give it to us, E.T. 007, right there. Let's get you alive. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is the hardest bit there. Beautiful, love that shot. Not a problem. We just got this bit to go. Just that. You see? You see? Wait. Here we go. We're gonna get to see the peak. Just look at that car. Woo! Guys, look at this weather!
Allow yourself, in this gentleness that you give yourself, allow yourself to practice and sound terrible or be really bad at something for a long time. Allow yourself that space of growth from beginner to intermediate to advanced. I think of myself as a pianist. That happened to me. But luckily I was very small and no one was really judging me. The problem was when I decided at the age of 36 to start violin. That didn't go well. And it had nothing to do with other people judging me. It had to do with me. Because as a professional musician, to start an instrument like a violin, that is very hard to tune and extremely difficult to play at the beginning. And for it to sound good. I still don't sound good. I stopped. I stopped for a while. It wasn't because I thought that you're never going to sound good at this. I know I can do it. I just didn't have the time. But it is a passion I'd like to try it again. But certainly there were moments where I was saying, why not just pick up another instrument that sounds good from the start? Because this instrument will be the death of me. Humans are capable of almost anything. There's so many examples out there on the internet. Prove to yourself that you can do it. Stop making excuses.
Lies a mountain that calls to those who seek challenge, adventure, and discovery. It's a symbol of grit, determination, and the power of pushing beyond our limits. Whispering in your ear, urging you to stay where it's safe. But if we listen to those fears, if we wait for the perfect moment, we might never move at all. So we push forward and we laugh at the absurdity of it. Because in this moment, when we are out in the storm, when the world feels wild and untamed, we know we're alive. This is what it means to live, choosing the difficult path despite the uncertainties. The storm doesn't stop us. The mud doesn't turn us back, and even as the lightning cracks above, we know that this is the beginning of something unforgettable. The mountain is calling us, and we are answering.
Feeling good.
Because the opportunity to climb, to live, it doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It waits for the brave.
If you can prove to yourself that you've done something, you're going to build self-esteem, you're going to build self-respect. Confidence comes from making promises to yourself and then following through. Changing your life doesn't happen overnight. It happens one step at a time.
And that those who climb its heights will be tested by forces beyond their understanding.
It's getting windy. This is what happens when you get to the top of the mountain. I'm losing a bit of oxygen. Can't breathe so well, but look at my eyes. My eyes say everything. I'm good. Good.
Very high drop that side.
Lovely.
Very high drop that side.
Oh, fuck! What the fuck? I shot my foot.
It's out of control here. 3, 4 of us are in the top.
And just like the myths, like often feels like a journey through the unknown. We can't always see what lies ahead, but we keep moving forward, step by step, sometimes stumbling, sometimes falling. But every setback, every hardship is part of the process. It is the grit we find within ourselves, the resilience we discover in the face of difficulty that defines us.
Step at a time. So keep asking yourself, what can I do right now, right this minute? That's a small little thing that's going to move me closer to where I want to be. You won't feel good every day, but take that first step. I used to do this with my gym and with my running and anything to do with physical activity. When you start, it's the worst thing ever is that moment where you have to put your clothes on to go out for a run, or your gym outfit on to go to the gym, or your swimming costume on to go and do laps in the pool. But I've always said to myself, just go for 10 minutes. Just run for 10 minutes. I do the same with the piano. Just practice for 10 minutes. This is a few more little points that this book really brought clear for me. And that was that you need to always respect your current commitments, but then add in time somewhere in your day that moves you closer to your goals or to your ideal self. Hold your own hand, and slowly after time, just take one step at a time and build and create some sort of new normal. It's all about forming habits. So the 10 minutes a day of running becomes 15 minutes the following week and 20 minutes the next week. And then within a month or 2 months, you're running your first race. Don't drastically change something. In one of my first examples, I said, don't tell yourself tomorrow, I'm going to start running tomorrow, but the first run I'm going to do is going to be 10 kilometers. Don't do that because you'll fail. Don't set yourself the impossible. Slowly adjust to your new life, to your new habits. Make it easy to perform these new little steps in your life. My question to you is, what is your first little step today? What are you going to do after you've watched this video? You have two choices. You can go back to sleep, as in keeping your soul asleep, or you can make that one step out of the comfort zone towards happiness, towards fulfillment, and towards joy. Pick the first step that feels right in this very moment. It's going to take you closer to your goal, to fulfilling a dream. See you next time. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the next one.
The mountain is you.
No reason to be scared. And then in that moment, all of a sudden, where you should be terrified is the most blissful experience of your life. And God placed the best things in life on the other side of fear.